y'all, we are back. It has been a minute, but life has been lifing. My unhinged mom bestie is now my work bestie. Yes, life changes have occurred. So now when you see our TikToks that we're manifesting to go viral, it's because we get to work side by side all day, every day. I don't know if that's a good thing, but it's a good time.
It's a good thing for us.
Yes. All right, so today we're going to dive into something that brings the best out of us, but sometimes also can bring out the worst, and that is co-parenting. I have dealt with every side of the good, the bad, and the ugly of co-parenting. Sometimes we're barely surviving, but somehow we thrive. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, and just the what the fuck moments.
Moments haven't kicked in
yet. Had made like a topic of discussion on Facebook when I wanted to get other people's opinions on how they felt co-parenting goes for them. To dive in a little background on mine, I was a teen mom when I started having to co-parent with my ex, who's no longer with us.
You made it sound like he was dead.
He is dead.
Bitch, I thought you were talking. Pour one out. R.I.P. My bad. I get the. Is it? R.I.P. Daddy.
You made him sound like he's dead. Bitch, he is dead. I mean, yeah, he never resurrected. But moving on.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so rest in peace, Kevin. My boy's dad is dead. But in the beginning with him, co-parenting was rough. Like, we were young. There were still emotions and feelings that were involved. And even though we knew that we were not meant to be together in that time, we brought the toxic out of each other.
What was your age gap?
Only 2 years. So when I was 16, he was 2 years. So when I was 16, he was 18. But boys mature a lot slower. So
Yeah.
he's definitely he was not like a full grown adult. I want to say after Cole was born, he turned 19. But it was bad. He was dealing with his own demons. I was still struggling to heal the inside of me and truly just come to terms of trying to heal and be a mom and raise 2 little boys. His parents definitely helped us a lot with co-parenting because my frontal lobe was not developed. So yeah, that took a while. It fully didn't come full circle for us to learn to co-parent until I got with my current husband. As everybody knows by Mook. Mook truly played a big role on helping us bridge that gap to learn how to co-parent, where he came to our house with his girlfriend and his children, any party we had at our house, and to see your children be in that environment and be just so happy that their parents are getting along was more than I could ever ask for. So I truly believe God connected all that full circle for us to be in a good place before he died. To fast forward to my daughter's dad.
The one that is alive.
Yes, he's alive and
unwell.
Yeah, unwell is putting it lightly. Who has his own healing to do. When I divorced him when Ava was turning 6, he kind of divorced her along the way. We went to court. He was still living in Texas. All he asked for was every other month, one weekend that I bring her to Texas. I agreed to. We only were able to do it one time, and then he moved.
Here?
Another state, somewhere up north, far away, Missouri. And I want to say that there was no effort. Like, trying to get child support out of him was like a pulling teeth, which I feel like if you're not being involved at all, the least you can do is help support financially, especially when you're making decent money. But now we're to the point where he does live local, and apparently
No, he doesn't.
Well,
He lives far.
He lives on the other side of the lake, in New Orleans, and it is a constant battle of he thinks that whenever he decides to be a dad and it's convenient for him, I am to drop everything that I am doing to drive her to New Orleans. And I could just do that, but at the end of the day, you don't know what doctor she goes to, you don't know what school she goes to, you don't know what size shoes she wears. So if you want to be a dad, and then you can put forth effort. Nobody tells me when I have to put forth effort with being a parent, so there's no reason why he can't drive 30 minutes to come get her when it's convenient for him. Let's go back to our Facebook post that we made to get some engagement on how others felt about co-parenting. We have one that said her ex had moved out of state and was not seeing her daughter but once a year. It really brought a toll on. I don't know if we should disclose names. Should we? It was bringing a toll on her daughter. Always bring the parent to pay and send the child up there with no help. She was fronting the cost of airline tickets, always being the one who had to send the updates, but the other parents were not asking. The other parent would get mad and not understand that the child is now a teenager and has changed a lot and isn't the same. They just wish the other parent would understand how hard it is, even though all the help was coming from her current husband. Which I could understand that. Like, I made the agreement when we went to court that I would bring Ava every other month for a weekend, and I agreed to do pretty much all the work because I chose to move from the state we were living in, but this is where our family was. And I mean, all he had to do was just be the fun parent. When the parent lives out of state, I don't consider that as a co-parenting, or if the parent's just not involved, not even just not living in a state, that's not a co-parenting situation, because for the simple fact, co-parent means you're picking up your child, you're bringing them to doctor's appointments, you're picking them up during the week, you're getting them the practices. If the sole parent is the one doing everything, showing up to everything, then there's no co-parent. Another person wanted to write a book. Here was a good one. They said they had a lot of stories, many from her own fault as everybody else involved. She said that she was in her 20s. She had a pretty much a glow up state. This was Chantel. You might know her. Don't know her. Maybe. The glow up of her mental state was insane in her 20s. The best advice she can say is when it comes to co-parenting, it should always be about the child first. In that way that the other parent, or you want to make sure that there's no disservice to the child. You're not making excuses. It sounds simple, but in the moment, it makes everything easy to make up excuses or validate or justify your actions. Like, a lot of the moms will like downplay everything on the dad and say the dad's so wrong. But in reality, are you just making excuses to validate your own reasoning? It gets really hard to deal with herself and take emotions out of things. So you never want to make decisions when you're on a heightened emotion, because at the end of the day, you're not going to do what's best for your child. So your feelings and your emotions have to be taken out. Another one. To my baby daddy, I am not obsessed with you, I promise. I'm literally just trying to give my kids a good, fulfilling life, including both parents. I apparently am so obsessed that I remember his social when I don't remember my own kids. So he's going to change his last name and his social so he is not connected to me anymore. But it also means he'll have a different last name than his kids, which I refuse to do, which is why I haven't changed it from his.
Who said that?
I'm only allowed to text his girlfriend, so I just went ahead and blocked them both at this point.
That's crazy work of him. He's gonna change his own name.
Someone said, how much time do we got? They apparently have some tea.
Who's that?
Tried our hardest for 12 years, and I know this story, and I know it very personally.
Shout out Patty.
So shout out to Patty. She tried to
Love Patty.
co-parent a long time with a psychopath, abusive, narcissist.
Clock it. Narcissists and psychopaths.
Whose brother is in the DA, and they finally got the courage to take him back to court to fight for full custody. With literally 20 lawyers from St. Tammany.
Damn.
They said that she would never get it. She represented herself, and not only did she win, she got full custody of her son, also a no contact order. The judge cried with her and said, "Go get your baby from school and share the amazing news." Not to mention, she could not fathom how literally they have been through physically, mentally, and verbally abusive abuse from her ex. So she regrets everything in her soul for not doing it sooner. But at the end, it all worked out. And even though when you're scared to go up against what you think will be an impossible case, it was a win-win for her.
When did that happen? 12 years?
12 years ago.
Damn,
And
Patty.
he just went to jail for beating his mom. His 70-year-old mama.
Damn. He beat her up. What'd she do?
Wouldn't give him money. But if you go pull the court record, something about he told his mom she didn't love him no more. Red flag all around. We have another one. The fact that my baby daddy chose not to be involved for 4.5 years, ever since they've been trying his hardest to rip their son from her arms. Both will badmouth them. So I'm guessing the ex and his significant other will badmouth her to their child. And they're going to court yet again. He's trying to get full time from her. She said it's been physically, mentally, and emotionally just a joke on how now their son is old enough to speak for himself, on how they threaten him, and he's terrified to speak in front of his parents or speak to the judge. They tried bending over backwards for 7 years to get along with him and co-parent and let a lot of stuff slide. But now that is no longer being done. On top of that, she has 2 kids that are on the spectrum that she put on the back burner to deal with this, because at the end of the day, she's a mom and she wants to make sure all kids are being seen and heard. And it is hard. Like when you come from a blended family, and my children have different dads, and it's hard to make sure everybody is getting the attention that they all deserve when you're wasting energy trying to co-parent with someone that just will not co-parent. And I can't complain, because when he has not put in any effort, there is no fight, because it's just me and my husband that are raising Ava. And then being on the other side of things, I don't know about you, but maybe I'm wrong for saying this, but I've always said I would never date a guy that had children, because I never wanted to deal with a baby mama. I knew what I felt as a baby mama, and what, like, my ex would make comments at me, and knowing that he had girlfriends, and it would just put me in a place where I'm like, I don't want to deal with that. I want to be the woman that I know only me and him share this experience. But I realized that is not possible, especially in the ages that we are. Everyone's going to have kids. And it all matters about finding the right person. But with my current husband, we never had a co-parent either, because we were dealing with addiction on that side of the relationship as well. So he had full custody of his daughters. So I never really had a co-parent from my end with children that aren't biologically mine.
What is Hannah? A little bit.
Yeah, but those were my kids.
Yeah.
But so even with Hannah, my boy's dad's girlfriend at the time, we didn't see eye to eye for a while, and I think it was because she didn't have children. And then once she did have children, that's when like the light bulb went off, and me and her were totally on the same page, and we actually were able to become really good friends, because she realized that all my intentions and decisions weren't because I knew for sure that they were right. I was just a young mom trying to do what I felt was best for my kids. Get a life, taking this trip away from him. What a fucking cunt you are. Robbing your son because you're so fat you can't get up and drive. Fuck off, cunt. How's that for respect? Ah! Didn't see anything in the contract about respecting you, you fucking whale. Splish splash fat fucking pig. I'll make sure you show our son your text and how you jerked this trip around for him. Two can play this game. Poor kid to have such a unmotivated failure of a mom. Good thing I make money and house y'all.
Who the fuck said that?
And with my friend that shared this glimpse of what she deals with, we can relate. And it's absolutely sickening that there's men like this in the world. It's absolutely a shame that you, as a mother, carried this child, raised this child, do whatever you can to love and protect this child, and someone who created him with you can degrade you like that. And like I told her, I can relate. I recently just went through it a few weeks ago, just because the first time in 7 months he thought I was going to drop everything I was doing to bring my daughter to him. And I'm like, she doesn't even want to go. And of course, anything that she feels, I brainwashed her apparently to feel that way. Girls, the body is teeing. So be proud. You are beautiful, and we do not need men like that at fucking all. And I feel sorry for whoever he's married to, because I can promise you, if you could speak to any woman like that, he's speaking to his wife like that as well.
That is insane work.
And hurt people. And I truly believe that men like that, they are just so lost. And that brings us back to our last episode, where they just don't even know who they are. They don't even love themselves. So how do we expect them to love anybody else? I try not to even engage in those conversations because they're not worth that energy. But sometimes it does bother me, because it's like, who are you to sit there and criticize my parenting when you're not here?
Yeah.
Like, you're not here. You're not even trying to meet the person that has been raising your child for 6 years. That's crazy to me, because if you have another person around my child that my child is being raised around, I want to meet them. I want to know who's going to be around my child, and I hope that they're loving and giving my child everything that they need. Or, like, I know in a perfect world, my daughter would want us to be able to hang out. She has a best friend whose dad and mom divorced, and literally still to this day, they're best friends and they hang out, they have dinner. In a perfect world, I wish all parents could do that, because for the short period of 2 years that I had that with Cole and Cam's dad, life was so good, because my children could just be happy in that moment and see us getting along and not having to fight, or making them feel like they have to choose a side, because a child should not have to do that. But at the end of the day, I've never taken Ava away from her dad. I want her to truly form her own opinion, because I don't want her to resent or make it feel like I formed any type of opinion about him for her. So, like, what are your thoughts on co-parenting? What do you think they should look like versus what it actually is?
Oh man, I don't even. I have no expectations and no standards, because I feel like when I'm talking to him, it's not like I'm talking to.
Oh well, there's
nothing there. Like I can't even. That's why I don't even waste my time going back and forth, because like you're delusional.
And not just that, I think sometimes they are so mad at you for not wanting to be with them, or for like truly just moving on and protecting your peace, that they hate you more than they can love their child. And that should never be like that. What is it like trying to co-parent when you're still healing?
Do that. Like it's just somebody sitting there degrading you and cursing you out, and me just being like,
You're just numb.
If that's how you feel.
You're just numb at this point. But I do feel like when you are trying to heal, like, I sympathize for the women that are going through like emotional divorces, because they are trying to grieve the life that they knew, and you still have to put your big girl panties on and be the mom and not let your children feel the aftermath of it. So shout out to moms that are going through that. It's kind of like grief. You're grieving a relationship that's no longer there. And I guess what I also don't like is when you're having to co-parent with the quote unquote fun parent, or as we call the fun uncle.
Yeah.
Because your kids end up like wanting to be with them, and that hurts because it's like, I'm the one that's showing up for everything. I'm bringing you everywhere. I'm here when the good, the bad, when you're sick, and then here comes the parent and stuff.
They recognize, because even Max, I told you about what happened last time when he said, he came in to get him and immediately walks up, get in the car, come on, let's go. I'm like, are you kidnapping these children, or are you coming to get the children you birthed? Like, I'm confused. And so Max was like, no, I don't want to go. And he said, because I always just get in trouble and you just yell at me, because he has no patience for him. And Max said, or baby daddy said, I'm not going to do that. You're not going to get in trouble. And Max said, I don't recognize your promises.
Her child is literally to the T. It's so funny because he's like he's 5 years old, but he has like old soul. And like the things that he can literally understand is crazy.
He clocked that immediately. Like, but that's also like something I have been teaching him, self-worth.
Right.
And don't allow people to treat you like that because
just that's
their
family,
their friends, they're anybody, and it's not even it's not even about your dad. It's just about life in general. That's how you treat.
Grew up in a generation where our family would tell us, that's your family, that's your blood, families comes first. I'm sorry, we're breaking that generational curse right now. Yeah. If you're not bringing anything to the table that is going to be good for me, I don't care if you're family or not, ties are being cut, because that's truly how we start this cycle of allowing people in the outside world to treat us so poorly, because we think that it's okay that we allow family to do it. Family or not, you want respect, you're going to give it back. And if you want it, I'm going to respect you just as much as you respect me. But we don't have to allow all this toxic behavior just because they're family.
Yeah. From anybody. And I feel like that just goes to show, like, I don't have to talk shit about you. I don't have to say all these things you do and say. All I have to do is tell my kid, hey, when somebody says something to you, they mean what they say.
Right.
Here's how to tell when someone's being genuine. Look at these pattern recognition. You teach them things like that.
To set them up for
life.
They'll realize it. I will say my daughter has definitely figured it out on her own. I'm raising her to, we don't just tolerate this just because this is a parent. And I'm not going to tell her you can't have him in her life. And I struggle with that. I struggle to know, like, I'm the adult, when is enough enough? But at the end of the day, she's going to be old enough that she'll cut those ties completely. But I also make sure I drill in her head it is not her job as a child to keep that relationship going. If he doesn't want to put forth effort, she should not ever blame herself for not calling or wanting to stay on a phone, because there's more to parenting than just forming a relationship over FaceTime. And she doesn't feel comfortable having hard conversations with him because she just hasn't had that relationship with him. And I truly believe in his head, she's still like this 6-year-old girl when really she's going to be 12. And a lot has gone on mentally. She has grown so much that he just can't grasp that. Another thing that we had people talk about was like parenting through the court systems and court orders. I remember a time where I had to like follow the court orders to the T. It's
so embarrassing.
It is.
Like, it's necessary for some people. Like, I get that, but like at the end of the day, it's like, man, you really are grown, and you need other grown-ups to tell you exactly what to do, or you're gonna be in trouble because you can't do the right thing on your own.
And it's like, can we just like and I know, believe me, I know not everybody can parent without the court systems because we do have some crazy people, but like I wish for everybody just to be able to get to that point where you could just throw the court papers out the window and you're like, we're just going to do what's best for the kids. Like holidays, I remember we would fight over, not so much Ava, but the boys, we would fight in the beginning. Oh, this is my holiday, I'm getting them, I want them Christmas morning. And I will say I was selfish. Like as a mom, I didn't want to miss those moments, but it finally got to a point where I was like, you know what, they deserve to make that decision. If they want to be with him on Christmas morning, then I need to let go and realize that he's their dad too, and he doesn't want to miss those moments. So sometimes it takes a lot of self reflecting for moms, as much as it hurts to miss out on big moments. Because I know some people are like, oh, well, we share every holiday. If you are there to that point in your relationship, that's great. But some people don't want their significant others aren't to that point of wanting to share all holidays. I will say, like, I follow a few people on TikTok, and like the new wife and the ex-wife are like best friends, and I love that for them. Like I wish everybody could get to that point.
Oh, is that the ones where they live together?
Mm. No, that one's a little weird.
Yeah,
this
they're
girl
so
lives.
funny.
They're funny, but she lives with her husband and her ex-husband.
Okay.
All in one house.
Yeah.
That's a throuple.
No, he's got a girlfriend. He's got a fiance.
And if I don't understand that, I mean, I could get along, but we ain't living together. That's weird. So you're gonna live with Jimmy and your new man if y'all ever get along?
No. But when I see their dynamic and see that it makes sense for them.
It makes sense for them, and I love that it works for them, but it's just weird for me. And I'm glad that they can get past that, and I don't know, but they are funny. I will say that. The mental load of remaining calm for the kids when co-parenting is being difficult and you're dealing with someone that's being very manipulating to the situation, that takes a lot of growth to stay calm and not crash out. I've had a lot of crash out moments where I'm being tested in that moment.
Never.
Never?
I mean, like not in my. There's just certain people you cannot communicate with. That are incapable. What does Rich say? You gotta meet people where they meet you.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. So I'm up here, you're down here. I'm not breaking things down for you to comprehend it, because if you don't comprehend it in the way that I'm saying it and in the simple, just here are the facts. If you don't understand that, well, I'm not going to draw it for you. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to come down to your level because there's just no way.
I agree.
Because you can't get to the point that I'm at.
I think things that help is celebrate your small wins, like not fighting over Christmas, not fighting over who's going to where. Those are small wins, and we celebrate those in that moment. I think having tools like clear boundaries, having a clear schedule, if we can all follow, and you have to remember, like, you're trying to navigate your life and be intertwined in somebody else's life. So I think having clear schedules will be beneficial to prevent those fights. But also, if something was to fall on the weekend that your ex is supposed to have the child, I think being able to say, oh, well, we don't have no plans. Yeah, you can take them to whatever y'all have planned. That is a big win, because some people are just so selfish they don't even want to even let that go, which is ridiculous. And I mean, that's pretty much all we have as part as like trying to survive as far as when it comes to co-parenting. If you're a co-parent right now and it feels impossible, believe me, I can promise you, you're not alone. Just go to my post and you will see the thread. There are plenty of people that are dealing with co-parenting, and it's hard, but it's not forever. And just try to always keep the goal in mind is to make the child as happy and not feel the, what's the word? The child shouldn't have to feel the backlash of two people trying to co-parent. I really want to make sure other moms are feeling encouraged. I know that you're doing hard work, that not everybody sees behind closed doors, but sometimes you just need a reminder that you are trying your best and that your best matters and that these kids truly need happy moms. So whether you're co-parenting like besties or you're barely speaking, your sanity matters more than their ego. So your peace at the end of the day, because if you're not a happy, thriving mom, you're not going to be able to be the best mom. So make sure your cup is full before you try to fill their cup. So like as Blair said, protect your peace. And then our winner of our massage that we did was
Sierra.
Yes.
Grayson.
Sierra.
Yes.
Grayson.
So, Olivia will be in touch.
Oh yeah, I miss Olivia.
Yes.
Olivia couldn't be here today, partially because we forgot to tell her how last minute this was.
Okay. So,
But it is not the same.
No, we definitely love having Olivia here. She gives us little tidbits and tips to keep the conversation going.
Any other
And keep us on track. Want to hear any other topics that you feel like are relevant for Unhinged Mom Moments? Post them, comment them to us. We will be looking into getting some guest speakers so that they can come and tell us their story. As always, I'm Caitlin.
I'm Blair.
Let's get unhinged.